Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our third ELA Tech Talk, which is Career Clusters in Your Community, focusing lesson plans on local workforce opportunities. My name is Jamie Trujillo, and I will be moderating today's ELA Tech Talk. And your presenters will be Dawn Dutton and Montserrat Oyanadel. Before we get started, please make sure that you type your name and your program name in the chat so that you get credit for attending today's webinar. If you have any issues with the chat, you can send a chat to me on Hangouts at jamie@nmdelt.org, or you can send me an email to let me know that you attended it live. Otherwise, have a great webinar, and I will hand it over to Monse.
Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, everybody that are listening today. We are really excited about this TED Talk. So today we are going to talk about career clusters in our community, focusing lesson plans on local workforce opportunities. This is the third installment of our TED Talks. Next month, we have the fourth, and that will be the series for the fall 2018. So as you can see, our information is on the screen. So please feel free to email us if you have any questions or comments after the webinar. We would love to work with you and support you during this transition. And also because we are ELA instructors, we teach students, and we do share a lot of resources, and we want to build this community. So for the people that maybe are new to these webinars, we are the New Mexico Distance Education and Learning Technologies, NMDELT. So we are a team of teachers throughout the state of New Mexico who provide support and training related to online and blended learning technologies in adult education. So we work with different teachers and programs around the state, trying to help them to support and implement teaching best practices. We also offer training for different learning technologies, including G Suite for Education, Edmonton Plato, and Rock, and also a lot of several, let's say, free open access online resources. Sorry. Today, we will review some of these free resources that we've been using specifically to career preparation for English language learners. Next slide, please.
Hello, everyone. Don here. Today's objectives is my screen, and I get to tell you that our goals for today are to identify the workforce clusters that are focused for New Mexico, for us in adult education to use in our classrooms. We hope that we can show you some ways to evaluate online resources that prepare a student to succeed in their current and future jobs, and also to identify career preparation content that we can use in the classroom that is useful for job opportunities in your neck of the woods. Next slide, please.
Thank you, Don. And I'm so happy to be here with you. So today, before we just get into the content and the presentation, we would like to do a quick check-in. So if you are watching this live, please participate with us. So we want to ask you, what are the most important career clusters in New Mexico? We are going to use Pool Everywhere for this activity. So you can use that link and just type the link and respond one word at a time. What do you think are these career clusters? Or if you don't have access to a computer, use your phone and text that to that number 22333, that name. I know it's a little long, but we will give you some time, and you can text the career cluster, just like I mentioned, one word at a time. The idea is to have a word cloud activity.
So what I would recommend, whether you have a phone or you're using your computer, is the link if you can, only because I've had some issues with the text, although not everybody will. But even on my phone, I've had no issues with the link. If I use Chrome anyway, I've only tried Chrome.
That's a good thing. Yeah, that's a good recommendation. We do have some problems sometimes with Google Pool Everywhere, but we'll see. It's always good to try new things. So we can move to the next slide.
Yeah, I'll go to the next slide because I believe it's on the. You'll still have the. give it just a second to pull up. You'll still have the login information.
Oh, thank you,
Oh,
Jamie,
it's
for that.
going black. I apologize. I'm not sure why that happened. I think it's loading. There it goes.
There we go. But this is really good. Oh my God, we're getting some responses.
All right, we got a lot.
This is great. Oh, I love the answers. That's how you can also use this in your classroom. So you encourage students that are a little afraid to talk. You can ask simple questions, so you can just ask for feedback. This is a great activity to use, and as you can see, some people will use a computer, and other ones can use the phone. So again, this is a good activity to use in the classroom, or when you are doing a training, or even for online webinars that we are doing now. Perfect. So we have different ones. What do you think, Don?
Very interesting. I'm seeing a lot of things that we're going to talk about today.
That's perfect. Thank you for participating. And so we have need, education, health, tourism, construction is big. Perfect. So let's transition to the next slide. Thank you so much. We're gonna, like you mentioned, we're gonna talk about a lot of these clusters. So let me go to the next slide and give you a little background. Perfect. So according to the New Mexico Department of Workforce Solutions, these are the fastest growing career clusters in New Mexico. So as you see in the picture, the results are divided by region. And if you check the orange part of the picture, you can see that construction, healthcare, and hospitality accommodation and food services are present or represented in every region. This means that these are the fastest, or the, how can I say that? The faster growing career clusters. So in a couple of years, a lot of the jobs are going to be available in those areas. So we also wanted to talk today about manufacturing, because sometimes it's confusing, as in construction, sometimes we don't talk about drivers. And some of our students, we have students that they have to drive, and they have to move huge equipment around the state, and also other careers like technicians, and that are part of the manufacturing field. For this reason, we wanted to break for today 4 big clusters that we will be talking about. And as you can see, there is a link. You can find this report on the website, the Workforce Solutions website, and get more information. But for today, we are just going to talk about these 4 clusters and the resources that we've been using in our classroom to prepare students with some of career preparation materials, such as vocabulary, grammar lessons. And another thing that we want to mention is that entrepreneurship, retail, and education services are also growing in the state. So these are going to be some of the topics that we would like to talk in our next TED Talks for next session. So I hope you can join us. Next slide, please.
When we look at jobs in New Mexico, we mentioned here the New Mexico Workforce Connection is a place that has, it's the be-all and end-all of looking for jobs. For us in the classroom, I found these sites here. Maybe you're familiar with them, maybe not. The site that I liked for getting information about jobs, maybe some vocabulary that I could use in my classroom about construction jobs. Indeed.com, a job site, but they have a construction section, and all of these sites are searchable by zip code. So your area of the state is going to be a focus. You can call up, right where you live, right where your school is, right where your students are, and find out where the jobs are right there. For hospitality and tourism, I like this site called Hospitality Online. Obviously, it's just focused on that field, so you're going to get the best stuff about those jobs. Healthcare jobs, simply hired is, just like Indeed or Monster, I guess. But I like the way they were listed there. And of course, Monster is huge. All of you know, Monster does recognize the career readiness certificate from taking the work keys exam, that kind of thing. I like the way they collaborate with education in that way. So for manufacturing jobs, I found really good resources for manufacturing jobs on that site. Next slide, please. So I was curious about where the jobs are, and the probably the most interesting thing here is the numbers represented here are from yesterday, the day after the voting in New Mexico, or everywhere really. But these numbers, and I first ran these numbers on the day before the 6th, and these numbers were very different. And I don't know if it had to do with voting or not, but I just don't know. It was very interesting. I just chose 8 cities in New Mexico, and I looked at the number of jobs listed in Indeed.com. And you can see here that those of you around Santa Fe may need to focus on a little more construction kinds of words and vocabulary when you can fit this into your class. Then manufacturing, Roswell, similar, but here down in Las Cruces, well, there's a whole lot more manufacturing jobs. So around that area, I think to do the best thing we can for our students, we can prepare them with those kinds of words that have to do with manufacturing. Next screen, please. Commercial construction is the first thing we want to look at. I see here in the site called skillscommon.org. Skills Common is an OER resource center. As of yesterday, there were 848 resources having to do with general construction, commercial construction, and 1,471 jobs in New Mexico in Indeed.com. But Skills Common is, again, open educational resources, and they're not really ESL resources. And all of us know that finding resources on the internet about driving a big tractor like this one in the picture is fine, but if the language is not adjusted a little bit for maybe a lower level or mid-level ELLs, it's going to be difficult. So we always have to adjust that. This site here, I'm going to show you a little bit of each of these. Haspod.com is a site that had a, a really nice, easy, usable for any level classes, understanding construction site and safety signs. We know this is part of working anywhere in manufacturing, in anywhere except if you're working at home, I guess. Anywhere you go, there are going to be signs, safety issues for any kind of job. And for our students to understand those, the colors related, all that sort of stuff is very, very important. For a little something, a little brave and bold, coming on the topic of safety in the workplace, OSHA puts out this video called OSHA Nightmares. And it's a little scary because it's actually videos of people doing really unsafe things and falling off roofs and falling down holes and falling. I almost thought, oh, is this right? But some of them, I'm going to show you a picture of one in a bit, but it might be something that your students would be, emotionally moved by. And that's always a good thing to get students to pay attention and to learn, is to engage that emotion and show what can happen in an unsafe situation to generate some discussion. You kind of be the judge of that, but check that out before you use it in your classroom. And the last one is here, GFC Learn Free, or gfcglobal.org. I found some good things there for vocabulary. Next slide, please. Here's just a sample of some of the things on the Haspod website. By the way, this whole recording will be up on our website, www.nmdelt.org, very soon, possibly tomorrow or early next week. So you can go back and look at these links I'm showing, or these pages, if you're interested in looking at these. Here, just again, focusing on the color, the words used, the symbols, and these kind of things for our students in any workplace. They're going to need this. Next slide, please. Here is a picture from the OSHA Nightmares video. Here's two guys running along the side, holding the other guy up to smooth this cement curb. What could possibly go wrong here? I will tell you that this is one of the more moderate scenes where, you know, these people wouldn't necessarily die if they were to drop this guy or something like that. But a really silly example here. But if you showed your students and asked them to figure out, is this the best way to do this job, you might generate some discussion. Next slide, please. And I like GCF Learn Free because it really starts at a lower level. The reading part of this section is actually a little bit higher with a variety of grammar tenses and all of these words. Here are danger words, again, talking about safety just because it's something that every job, everywhere is important. These kind of jobs, these kind of words would be a great lesson for any class to study, pronunciation as well as understanding, and maybe even spelling and all that. So, and GCF Learn Free again is another open educational resource that's free, and it's a great source for vocabulary and reading. Next slide, please.
Thank you, Don. I love all these resources and also those pictures.
Thank you.
Really good, actually, to think about. So I was actually driving yesterday, and I saw a guy pouring asphalt or something like that on the road, and he wasn't wearing gloves. So I'm like, oh my God, that's crazy, right? Stuff like that you should pay attention and talk to the students too, because some of them maybe don't have the English level to even ask, to communicate. You just want to do it. You never know. But well, today I'm going to talk about some of the resources that I've been using for hospitality and tourism. As you know, I'm located in Taos. So Taos, northern New Mexico, is an area where a lot of students work in the hospitality and tourism industry. We have a lot of housekeepers, servers, also people that work in the front desk. So for this reason, some of the lessons that we are trying in my program to use are related to this field. So the first resource that I want to share with you, the first one is a whole curriculum that is available at this link. And by the way, we are showing all these links, but at the end of the presentation, we are going to share the video on our website and also the slides. So you're going to be able to just use these links and check the resources by yourself. So don't worry about that. I know it could be overwhelming, but these are really good resources that you can check at home when you have some time and review them. Also you can check the recording as well, so you can be using both. So the first resource is this curriculum, English lesson plans for the hospitality industry. So this has 21 modules which have different activities. As you can see, the first one says here, let me see again, greeting and receiving guests. So this is really important because at first you start talking to the students how to talk to people in a different setting, formal or informal. You can do writing activities or you can do role playing. So at first, to introduce the activity, you can use it with the whole class. And then after they get it, you can divide it by career interest. So it's pretty good to use. And I've been printing some of the activities and using it in my class. These are really complete exercises. And I will say the intended level for this curriculum, it will be lower intermediate to intermediate advanced. Of course, you have to do some scaffold and support the advanced students, because for some of them could be a little easy, but then I would recommend that you have some complicated, or maybe the role player could be more advanced. And the other resource that is this one is a free resource, is English for My Job. So we just put a screenshot there. And what is cool about this resource, this page, is that it's divided by 4 categories. So they have the food, the hotel industry, travel, tourism, and politeness training, which is great, because coming back to the same conversation, how you talk, how you interact in different settings is really important for the students to know. And some of the activities that you can find on this website are grammar activities, vocabulary with pictures. So you can print those, and they have the pictures there, and the students have to feel what the word means. Then also they have a lot of fill the blanks activities, and like I mentioned, a lot of pictures available for free. Next slide, please. And the healthcare industry, as we mentioned before, is really predominant throughout the whole state. So there are a lot of content out there, and for that reason, we just choose the materials that we've been using and the ones that we know about. So this website is great. I'm really amazed of all the work that the Florida Literacy Coalition has been doing regarding this field. So if you get on the website, you will find right away 2 books available with lesson plan and materials for beginners and for intermediate, I would say intermediate advanced students. And you can download those right away as soon you get on the website. So they have a lot of role playing and pictures and writing activities. So it's a full curriculum. It's really good. And we've been using some of these lessons in my program, and the students love it. What is also great about this this website is that there is a newer book called The Health Careers, a guide to finding entry-level jobs in healthcare. So this book is a great guide. Even though it's applied to Florida, you can totally use the same structure to in your New Mexico, in New Mexico, because it talks about how a student could advance in the healthcare field. So they show you the ladder. They start with the low pay and the higher pay jobs that are part of that field. And also what is great about, they are totally talking about the social emotional learning and what are the skills that employers want that the employees have. And these are basically how personal skills and how you see yourself and how accountable of your actions are you. So all these things are part of this guide, and I've been looking at it, and now I'm trying to plan a new curriculum based on this same structure, so I can support students better to transition into certificates and post-secondary education. So like I mentioned, you can get into this website and get those resources for free. Next slide, please.
Monse, that's a really good point. I don't. Florida is not my favorite state. Let me put it that way. And I really didn't want to like that project, but that Florida Literacy, they do really great work down there. I encourage anybody to look at that. It's a whole bunch of really well done resources.
It's impressive, yes.
As far as manufacturing goes, again, my resources, Skills Common is a great place to go and look. 4,700 resources there, and Indeed lists 1,000 jobs all over New Mexico. I made this list at the bottom of the page here. Just look at the diversity in jobs in manufacturing, from robotics design to general labor. Monse mentioned driver before. There's a lot of driver jobs in manufacturing, hazardous material shippers, a great variety of jobs. Some we would consider low skilled, other quite high skilled jobs. This link here, this YouTube link, is to a group called Video Vocab. They did video on really what is a plant, what is a factory. They do a really good job of kind of walking around a factory and talking about all the words. It's a good vocabulary lesson, and good visuals about what goes on in there, and all of that. I thought it was a good site to do that. You might want to check that out. Next screen, please. The Manufacturing Institute is well, they do a variety of things, but they have this 44-page document that the first page you can see there, but it covers everything from AI to robotics to making anything, and as far as an introduction to manufacturing goes, it explains all the different jobs that might be involved and what manufacturing is, making stuff, right? But it's a good resource also. And next screen, please.
Yeah, Don, you cover a lot of good resources that actually and like I mentioned, we've been using this resource. So if you have any question, please let us know. Something that I forgot to mention, and I know we are almost finishing this webinar, is that also this career could change. I don't know if you guys know, but Netflix already bought a building, or it's gonna be part of it's gonna have a place in Albuquerque. So that's gonna change a lot the careers that New Mexico is gonna have now. Also, I hear also that in Las Vegas, New Mexico, there's gonna be something related to movies again. So these careers are gonna be changing, and this is just what we are talking about. This is now at this moment, but who knows? Maybe in 2 more years we're gonna have more movie industry, art industry. However, I do feel that health is always going to be present, construction and the industry.
And Monse, we're working with Facebook now, right? We haven't even talked about that.
We didn't talk about it, and that also something I wanted to mention. Could you tell us a little bit about that, Don?
Well, it's a fabulous project. Claudia Lopez is a teacher at UNM Valencia who is with the students in the Facebook campus there that they're building, and these guys need to learn English in a variety of fields. We've been working with mostly open educational resources, coming up with this curriculum from scratch, and we've actually got a whole bunch of it done, and this is maybe a product that we're going to be able to share throughout the state. It's right now general construction curriculum. It's based on a whole bunch of standards that I don't really have time to cover right now, but it's very interesting that that Facebook wants this kind of thing, and we're able to find resources to teach these guys.
No, it's great, and we are excited. So we're gonna let you know when we have this curriculum available for you to check, and it's a really fun project. And of course, we are really happy to work with Claudia Lopez. She's an amazing teacher, and of course, I'm really happy to work with Don. So the next TED Talk is going to be December 13th. So please join us, and we're gonna send you emails, and we're gonna post on social media. I hope you can join us. Next slide, please. So thank you for listening today. I hope you learn a lot of new resources, and you are excited about exploring this and using in your classroom. So we are the New Mexico Distance Education Learning Technologies team. We provide training, support, we share resources, and we would love to collaborate with you. And also we provide professional development around the state. So if you have any comments, questions, and you need support, please go and find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or you can find us on our website. This presentation and the slides are going to be available on our website really soon. So please keep tuned or keep tuned. Help me, Don.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned. I forgot the word. Thank you. Next slide, please. So before we forget, Jamie, thank you for being here today.
Yes, thank you, Jamie.
You are welcome.
I'm just wondering if there is any questions or comments.
We did have one question.
Okay.
Nancy Alvarado is wondering if you have found anything from the oil field.
Oh, that's a good request. I haven't done. Have you find something?
I can't say as I have.
Okay, so tell Nancy, or Nancy, if you're listening, thank you. Hi, I'm happy that you're here. That's our homework, and we will email you and let you know if we find anything. Okay, so thank you for that.
Thank you, guys. That was the only question we have. And of course, we're leaving this screen on for just a second so that everybody can write down this link, because unfortunately I cannot put links in the chat. If you are watching this passively, you can pause the video, write down that link. But yes, please definitely fill out that survey for us. We would really appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yep, we
of
appreciate
course.
that.
Yeah, and it's always space for improve, and also to add some resources like Nancy just mentioned. We will totally look into the oil field. Thank you for
Great.
joining us today. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Don.
And thank you everyone who was on live, and hopefully, everybody that's watching afterward. I hope you enjoyed this webinar, and we will see you all, or you'll see us in December.
Yep. Thank
Yep.
you.
Bye-bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Have a good day. I forgot.